Ladies and gentlemen, let me call to order this November 14th meeting of the Middle Georgia Regional Commission Council. And welcome everybody on this frosty, cool night. It's great to have a change in the weather. You know, somebody was saying it's been a long, hot summer, and now we're already complaining about how cold it is. We want to wait until it's warm weather. We're glad all of you are here tonight. I understand, Kim, we have a quorum of members in attendance, so we can conduct official business, and that's good. But I think one of the first things that we ought to do, Freddie Butts and the Yatesville Diner folks are providing dinner for us again tonight. Freddie could not be here. He was going a different direction, but his wife Angie is here, so let's say thank you to Angie. Always do a fabulous job for us. Next on our agenda, we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I have asked Ed Harvey, Mayor of Gray, if he would give an invocation to us. So would you please stand as you're able, and we'll start with the invocation, and then I'll lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor Harvey?
Thank you. Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet here tonight. We ask our blessings on this meeting. Pray to you that you will guide us in the right direction so we make decisions as we move forward. This we ask in thy precious name. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We've got some folks that we need to recognize and introduce. We start with one that's not really a guest because she's here with us so often, and she's here again tonight. Lady Carter out of Alton, Scott's office. Thank you. And I don't think any other of our field representatives showed up, so you get the Meritorious Service Award for that. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And this next is not a guest, and actually, he is a new member of the board. Our good friend, former representative, state representative, Bubba F. has been designated governor to be the lieutenant governor state appointee on our board. Bubba, it's great to have you back. Bubba said the lieutenant governor didn't know him all that well, so he took advantage of that. That's not so. The more he knows you, the sooner he would have appointed. We're glad to get back with him. Any other guests at any of our tables? Anybody bring a spouse? Mark?
Mr. Chairman, I didn't bring my spouse, but I've got my fellow commissioner Wade Yoder with us from Peach County.
Wonderful. Hey,
I have Councilman right here with both three and Senator.
other guests that we need to recognize? If not, then the next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of our October the 10th council meeting. As you will remember, our October the 10th council meeting was our annual meeting, and we were all in good fellows, and out at the conference, Senator Anderson Conference Center at Goodwill. There were loads of guests and not much business. Nevertheless, we prepared the minutes of the meeting, and they've been prepared and distributed. Are there any changes or corrections that anybody noted? If not, then I get a motion to approve the minutes as written. Good. Got a got a motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the minutes are all approved. There is no old business to which we need to attend at this point. So we'll move directly to the hardest working committee that we've got, the Budget Audit and Personnel Committee, and they have really been working hard recently. I'm gonna call on the council vice chair and chairman of the Budget Audit and Personnel, Vic Bazemore, for that report. Vic?
Thank you, Mayor. We chopped a lot of wood yesterday night. Yeah. We had a real nutritious breakfast. The Budget Audit and Personnel Committee met on November the 13th, 2019, to review the FY 2019 Regional Commission audit. And I'm pleased to report that the Regional Commission received an unmodified opinion with no audit findings. If there had been someone else who could give this report. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Pat Hughes from McNamara Brooks to present the 2019 budget audit for consideration. Pat, come over. Stay there.
I'll stay right here, that's fine. Thank you. Like Mr. Bazemore said, we met with the audit committee, budget audit personnel committee yesterday morning, and went over the our report in detail with them. And tonight, we're just going to hit some of the highlights and go over some of the audit results. The commission prepares what's called a comprehensive annual financial report. It's more robust than your typical annual report that you see. The key sections are the introductory section, which includes the letter of transmittal, starts on page 1. It includes an overview of the activities and accomplishments of the commission for the fiscal year. The financial section includes the management's discussion and analysis, the audit opinion, the financial statements, the notes of financial statements, and the fiscal section includes a lot of financial information, demographic, economic information that goes back 10 years. So that's a good read. And then the single audit section, it includes the schedule of expenditures of federal awards and our audit reports on compliance and internal control related to those federal awards. It is prepared by the finance department, and each year the finance department submits their report to the Government Finance Officers Association, and they did so last year. They were awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. That certificate is included in the report as well. But I did a little background. There's 12 regional commissions in the state, and only 4 present CAFRs and receive the Certificate of Achievement. So that's a great accomplishment that the commission has here. Let's see, we've got the financial section, and I've got page numbers up in the top right if you want to follow along. You don't have to, but on page 13, we've got our report. As Mr. Bazemore said, it is a unmodified opinion, clean opinion, just like y'all have received in the prior years. Just getting into some of the financial section, pages 25 and 26. We've got the government-wide financial statements, and there's a first column there is labeled governmental activities, and that basically includes all the activities of the commission except for the revolving loan funds. And it's a little bit different basis from what y'all see at your meetings. This financial information includes some pension adjustments and some and your capital assets. But this comparing to 2018, we've got total assets 5.6 million, deferred outflows, which is a pension amount, $572,000. Total liabilities, $3.3 million. Deferred inflows, which is deferred revenues and some amounts related to pensions. The result of, I guess, the assets less liabilities is your net position, which is around $2 million. And most of that is unrestricted at $1.8 million. On page 27, we've got the statement of activities. This is your revenues and expenses. And here again, this is for the governmental activities. Total expenditures for fiscal year 19, $10.8 million. Revenues, we've got charges for services, $326,000. Federal and state awards, just at $10 million. And resulted in an operating deficit of $538,000. Now your dues go to offset that operating deficit. Membership dues for $645,000, and ended up with the revenues in excess of expenditures of $124,000. Just the awards to dues ratio, for every $1 of membership dues, you are able to obtain $15 in federal and state awards. So big impact that your dues have. On page 25, we've got the business type activities, and this relates to your economic or your EDA revolving loan fund and your local revolving loan fund. The local revolving loan fund is new. I shouldn't say it's new. It's what's the Georgia Small Business Lender got. It was dissolved and folded into the commission. So that is now included, or it's always been included, but it's also in the 2019 numbers here. But total assets, which is mostly cash and loans, $3.7 million. We've got some liabilities, $65,000, and the net position there is $3.7 million, of which $755,000 is unrestricted. Total revenues, mostly interest income, $111,000. Expenses, $67,000, and we've got a positive changing position, changing that position to $44,000. Just to explain the transfer there, that is, if you look at 2018, $731,870. That is the transfer of the net assets of Georgia Small Business Lender into the commission. So that kind of skews things a little bit. But, let's see, on to page 28. We've got the financial statement or fund statements. And this shows the general fund, your major funds, and your other special revenue funds. We really just wanted to point out here the unassigned fund balance is just a little over $3 million. Most of that is made up of cash and investments of $2.8 million, or 93%, which is very healthy. Your policy, your fund balance policy requires you to have 60 days of annual operating expenditures. You've got 100 days, and you can see that's an increase from last year as well. So very, very healthy. On page 30, I'm looking at the general fund here, but the dues, $645,000, it's reported in the general fund. Total revenues, right under $1 million. We had total expenditures, $798,000, and ended up with revenues exceeding expenses of $65,764. The single audit section, because the commission receives federal funds, we're required to perform a test of compliance and review internal controls. Our programs that we tested include the Medicaid program and the aging program. We identified no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses or question calls. And because of that, you qualify as a low risk RT, which is what you want to have. You want to be a low risk RT. The audit process, management staff are very prepared for the audit. We receive information timely. We get quick responses to our questions. We really enjoy working with Laura, Matt, Crystal. They do an excellent job for you. And then our required auditor communication. At the end of each audit that we do, we're required to communicate certain things to the board. And really no significant issues that need to be reported, no difficulties encountered in performing the audit. There are no uncorrected balances in the financial statements. We have no disagreements with management, and we did receive management representations from management as well. And really, that's it. We enjoy providing services to the commission, and open up for any questions if y'all have any.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate that very much. Mr. Chairman, Budget Audit and Personnel Committee recommends the acceptance of the FY 2019 Middle Georgia Regional Commission audit and approval for distribution to all parties.
You've heard the recommendation of the committee, Mr. For no second, if necessary, any further discussion or question? Hearing none, then all in favor of accepting the FY 2019 audit and authorizing staff to distribute the audit to all appropriate parties, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the audit is adopted and staff is instructed to distribute to all appropriate parties.
In addition, the committee received an update on the draft performance audit and reviewed the budget to the actual report in detail. Lastly, the committee discussed the Middle Georgia Regional Leadership Champions Program. The leadership program is in partnership between the Regional Commission and the J.W. Fanning Institute of the University of Georgia, which was launched in 2014. After 4 successful program years, 100 champions of regional leadership have been commissioned representing all 11 counties. Until now, the program has been funded through a grant from the Department of Defense of Economic Adjustment. I am pleased to report that Georgia Power has awarded a $20,000 grant to the Regional Commission for the continuation of the program in 2020. The Budget Audit and Personnel Committee recommends the acceptance of the Georgia Power grant and the continuation of the program for 2020. The balance of the cost will be covered through participant tuition.
You've heard the recommendation of the committee, no second is required. There is further discussion or questions about the regional leadership program. Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the $20,000 grant from Georgia Power so that we continue this for the next year. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the grant is accepted, and the program will continue to 2020. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chairman, this concludes the report of the Budget Audit and Personnel Committee. I want to thank you and all the members that worked very hard to take attention to detail and participated in the meeting. We had a struggle between all of our busy schedules of even being able to get together. So we were able to do that yesterday morning, and we appreciate everybody coming in early yesterday morning to get this done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dick, and I appreciate you being chairman of that committee. You do a lot of hard work. And how about a special recognition from our finance director, Matt Garvin. And to get this, is it GFOA government for how many years in a row?
24.
24 years in a row. We got some other new business to take care of. Greg Barkey is going to come and talk to us about 2 resolutions that we need to pass for the Georgia DOT. Greg?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So once again, it is time to reauthorize a pair of regional planning activities that we do under contract with the Georgia Department of Transportation. And so you probably see in the packet here that it references a whole bunch of GDOT code section numbers, which are based off of what Federal Highway Administration says for all this stuff. I'll break it down a little bit without using numbers, at least I'll try to. So the 5304 program is the one that allows the Middle Georgia Regional Commission to do rural transit development plans and to assist with environmental reviews related to transportation projects and anything that sort of pertains to rural transit support in general. So this is a grant program that we've been getting funding from for GDOT for quite a number of years. Would like to continue that. So we require a formal application to be submitted. It's due on December 9th. And with a resolution to move forward with that, we'll be able to submit. The second one is the 5311, which many of you may be familiar with that one as a source of money that actually helps a lot of our rural counties in Middle Georgia operate your own transit systems, which includes the actual cost for vans sometimes. We are not applying for that. We are applying for the 5311 for mobility management services, which is for helping to coordinate transportation between those various transit systems that we do have within Middle Georgia. And that includes both urban to rural coordination and to help disseminate information about transit systems so that we can hopefully increase ridership and help connect folks with opportunities to get from point A to point B. So mobility management is yet another program that we've been doing now for a good number of years at Regional Commission. Again, application due December 9th, and we need your approval of a resolution to move forward with that. So at this time, I'll ask if there are any questions. And if not, ask for your approval.
You've heard the report. Are there any questions? Didn't get any questions. Is there a motion to approve the resolution to authorize the 5304 and the 5311
So
application?
moved, Chairman.
A motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Those 2 applications will be prepared and submitted for 5304 and 5311 funds. We got some local assistance requests, and Susan Lamprey is here and going to articulate who's asking for what.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The following local assistance requests have been received since the October meeting. Staff time is available to assist with each of these requests. Crawford County has requested assistance with creating a zoning web map. Peach County has requested assistance with completing a wage and salary classification study. Peach County has also requested assistance with facilitating a retreat for the Peach County Board of Commissioners. And Twiggs County has requested assistance with researching some grants for body on cameras, Bulletproof Vest Partnership, and the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. I'd also like to take a moment to announce a couple of success stories for our region. The cities of Forsyth and Eatonton have joined Cary as communities with a rural zone designation in the state of Georgia. This designation will allow for investors and property owners in the downtown areas of these cities to qualify for investment tax credits, rehabilitation tax credits, and job tax credits within a designated area. We are also currently working with the city of Hawkinsville right now so that we can apply in 2020 for the same designation.
You've heard the report. Are there any questions about any of the other local assistance grant requests? If not, can I get a motion to approve the grant request? Got a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the grant request, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the grant request. Matt Garvin is going to give us a quarterly financial update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You should all have a copy of the first quarter, budget to actual report, through September 30th of 2019. Local revenues are at 17% of budgeted revenues so far through the first quarter. So a lot of those local contracts are performance-based measures and happen at certain times throughout the year. So, we expect it to be a little bit behind right there with that. Local dues are at 25%, which is exactly where they would be after the first quarter. Our annual meeting sponsorships are at 95%. We've got additional sponsorships that are not included in those numbers. Our total sponsorships for the annual meeting back in October was $28,000, which is the most we've ever raised for that meeting. So thank you to all our sponsors for helping us out with that. State revenues are only at 6% of budget revenues through the first quarter. The report is the actual revenues of what we've received cash on hand, so we have a lot of billings that have taken place and we're waiting payment on some of those state contracts. So that's why that number is so low, and then some of the others we're in reality waiting on contracts so that we can start billing on some of those. So, once those contracts come in, we'll start billing on some of those state contracts. The same story with federal revenues. They're at 7% through the first quarter. Again, we billed out some of those, in the waiting payments from the state or federal agencies. And then the workforce program, we got as the school year really gets going, we expect those expenses and revenues to increase as well. Expenditures through the first quarter are at 20%, so just a little bit behind where we expect to be through the first quarter. Just some things with that within the expenses. Wellness program is at 80%. It's at 80% because of the wellness incentives that have been paid out to staff, which the council approved back at the beginning of the year. We have additional incentives that are available to staff to earn that will be paid out in January for those that do earn additional incentives that are available to them for wellness program activities. Insurance and bonding is at 81%. This is one-time expenses on our liability and property insurance premiums that are paid at one time. So that's why that's so high through the first quarter. We've gone ahead and paid all those out for most of the fiscal year. And the same story with computer charges, they're at 85%. A lot of one-time payments associated with the renewal of computer licenses and subscriptions. So there are one-time payments that don't carry over through the rest of the fiscal year. But this is just kind of for your information. Like I said, we're kind of just through the first quarter, so things are really just getting going, but we're kind of about where we expect to be through the first quarter. If anybody has any questions, we'd be glad to answer, but this is just mostly for your information so you kind of see what's going on with the interpretation.
Any questions? If not, consider yourself edified as to our financial status at this particular point. Thank you, Matt. And now we've got a couple of projects of regional impact, DRI. DRI are typically good things, DUI are bad. Believe it, DRI is very uncomfortable.
Thank you very much again, yes. DRIs are positive things because maybe you've got a big development coming up or you're doing big work within your community. So we've got a couple of them to report on tonight, number 2931 and number 3005. I'm actually going to start with that with 3005 because that's a little bit of the easier one to talk through here. So this was the Wolf Creek water treatment plant for the city of Gray. They are going through the process of applying for federal funding to help with roughly doubling its capacity, which is a big, ambitious project, a great achievement for the city of Gray, because the plant is doubling in size pretty much. That's one of those thresholds that requires a DRI review. So that went through the 30-day period, no comments were received on that. No action is required, just a briefing in that regard. So that's the nice and simple one. Now going back to 2931, which is the one on Emerald Lighter Logistics. This is probably one of the more complicated ones I've actually seen here, because it says at the top of the memo, if you're looking at it, that it's in Monroe County. Well, it's mostly in Monroe County, but it's also partially in Macon-Bibb County. So it actually crosses a couple county lines, and it's located off of Thomaston Road. So this DRI process has been in review for a little while now, and that when we originally sent out for comments, the developer hadn't provided a whole lot of information about the project. GDOT came back and said, well, you're gonna be increasing truck traffic on the state route. We need to know some more details. So on this particular project, we received that request, and Regional Commission as well as Monroe County both concurred with extending that process for another 30 days, which is a rare option, but it is something that we are empowered to do under the rules governing DRI projects. So that period of time gave us a chance to meet actually earlier this week, and this is an update even more recent than what's in your memo. But it gave us a chance to meet, discuss the project in more detail, and that DRI final report will be going out likely tomorrow. And the recommendation from the Regional Commission will simply be for continued coordination with GDOT as they've been able to gather more information about the project and continue to move forward with the planning and zoning approvals that are required from both Monroe County as well as from Macon-Bibb County in this instance, because it is a multi-county DRI project. So those are the two to report on this month. Just again, provided for your information, no action required, but I will be happy to take any questions if there are any.
What was the state route that they're gonna be?
State Route 74, so it's Mercer University Drive when it's closer to town. So this is all the way out of town, like if you were going to Cologne. The developer said that it's a relatively small additional number of trucks they're planning to put on that route, probably no more than 10 to 20 additional truck turns per day is currently what they're looking at. But that's why GDOT coordination is going to continue working through that process so that they can determine if a deceleration lane is needed or a turn lane or something like that in terms of improvements on that.
Good. Thank you, Greg. Are there any more questions about what Greg doing with their water treatment system or with the M Light Logistics in Monroe County? No further questions? Good. Well, consider yourself edified on those two projects of regional impact. That brings us to the star of the show, the director's report from Lawman.
I will say in the 13 years I've been around the DRI process, we've never asked for an extension of the 30-day comment period. We didn't even know we could do that. So we learned something through that process in order to get some good communication going. I want to start this evening by saying thank you very much to the members of the Budget and Audit Personnel Committee. Y'all probably the most active committee that we have on the council. And to just dive in deep to numbers and to really appreciate that leadership that you provide. I'm happy to report, as the mayor mentioned, in October we had our annual meeting out of the Anderson Conference Center. I think we determined this was the largest attendance we've had in a number of years. As Matt mentioned, the highest level of sponsorship support for that event. I think walking in that night, folks were like, man, it would be a lovely night to be in the lake, right? Because it was beautiful, it was sunny, there was a breeze, it was great. And then as you got inside and you were in this nice air-conditioned space and seats were comfortable and all was good, everyone's like, man, this is great. So we're planning to go back to Goodwill next year for the annual conference. Unless I hear a groundswell of no, we want to go brave the elements again. Please, we have gift bags available for you as you leave tonight. If you weren't able to get one at the annual meeting, please feel free to take one with you. We also just wrapped up the Georgia Association of Regional Commissions annual conference down in St. Simons at King Prince. We had several staff members as well as council members who attend. Mayor Wilson from Forsyth serves as the Middle Georgia Regional Commission representative on the executive board directors for the state association. And we were also joined during that meeting, in addition to getting briefings from the Commissioner of Department of Community Affairs and the Commissioner of Health and Department of Human Services. Also got a briefing on the Georgia Courts Authority and the new electronic voting machines that will be rolled out very soon in the next election. And then I was really pleased we were able, we invited Joe McKinney, who is the executive director of our national association, the National Association of Development Organizations, was able to come and spend the entire conference with us and learn about, we have a lot of new executive directors in the last 3 years in Georgia. So it was great to have Joe come and have a chance to interact with the policy members as well as the staff, regional commissions, to understand the today issues in Georgia. He was a little surprised in talking to him that he goes, how come there wasn't a whole lot of discussion about legislation issues? And I said, well, the Georgia General Assembly only meets 40 days, starting the second Tuesday in January. So those meetings, we talk a lot about legislation, and then the rest of the time, we talk about all these other stuff. But really good conference. Appreciate the council members who were able to go and participate in that. I also wanted to let you know we have issued every 4 years, under the rules for the Department of City Services, we issue an RFP, or request for proposals, for all of our aging services. The only in-house service that we provide in the aging program is our gateway counselors. Those are the individuals who are doing intake and screening and determining what services an individual might be eligible for. And some case management as well. But our home delivered meals, our congregate meals at senior centers, our in-home services, homemaker services, respite care, as well as legal services, those are all services that we contract for. So we issued that RFP on November 8th. Proposals are, we've had one bidders conference, we have another bidders conference tomorrow, to make sure everybody understands how to fill out the forms, and hope I never have to look at a uniform cost methodology spreadsheet again. They are not for the faint of heart. And those proposals will be evaluated. We ask a team of aging professionals from across the state to help evaluate those, to give us an independent assessment of the proposals that have been received. And then I'll come back to you with a recommendation of how to award those contracts at your February council meeting. These are contracts that would start July 1. So we're just trying to make sure we have ample time for any questions or concerns that might come up in the RFP process. And I believe that is the end of my report. So I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have. Thanks very much for agreeing to accept the grant from George Power, and look forward to launching the next class.
Very good, Robert, thank you. On one little note here, in accordance with the bylaws, I appointed James Baum to serve on the nominating committee as the state representative on that. Other members of that committee are Derek Williams and Denise Shinholster, Barbara Williams, Billy Webster, and Tom Stoneker. I'm asking committee chairman Tom Stoneker to convene a meeting in the near term to develop a slate of officers and executive committee members for your consideration at the January meeting. And now remember, as far as announcements are concerned, council appointment packages will be mailed next week. There is no meeting in December. Ho, ho, ho. No meeting in December. Next meeting will be January, when we'll elect a new slate of officers, and you certainly want to be here then. I have one other announcement. Earlier today, at the Clean Air Coalition meeting, we recognized former House and County Commission Chairman Ned Sanders for his work with the Clean Air Coalition. Chairman Stoneker, you want to make any comments about this award that was received earlier this afternoon by Ned Sanders?
Well, I'll be glad to. I was honored to be here at Clean Air today. And those of you that don't know Mr. Sanders, he has put his life and soul into Clean Air. Even after he left being the chairman of the county commissioners. And it was an honor for him to go up to Washington, D.C. last week and be presented this award. It represents all of Middle Georgia. It's not a Houston County award, it's not a Gibb County award, it's a Middle Georgia award. And he has done wonders in his leadership with Clean Air. And I asked him today in front of everybody, I said, now this doesn't mean you leave Clean Air just because you got this award, you will continue on. And he didn't say no. So I assume that he's going to stay on, but he will. But it was quite an honor. And, Mayor Ricketts and I have been up on a couple of occasions to EPA, and it's quite something when you have a federal agency the size of EPA that acknowledges and recognizes Middle Georgia and what they're doing for clean air. And Mayor, I want to thank you for what you have done as well. Some of the rest of you in the room have served in those capacities on clean air. Greg is currently the chairman, not only of Monroe County, but also of the clean air, and they do a wonderful job in what they do and represent Middle Georgia. If you have not been to one of those meetings, I encourage you to come when they have a meeting. It's normally at 4 o'clock, right before the RC meeting. I would encourage you to come to that meeting and see what all goes on there. Very important, very important. Non-attainment, Smith County, and I believe Monroe at one time, and Mays and Jones was in non-attainment, and the entire region now is in attainment. That's outstanding. You need to give yourself a round of applause for that.
Sanders did go to Washington and was recognized at this meeting of the EPA and was given the Thomas W. Zozel Outstanding Individual Achievement Award. It was a national award, right? And he was recognized. And the last paragraph on the little program says, because of leadership, every county in the region is entertained for the 8-hour ozone. MAAQS with an average concentration reduced from 0.075 to 0.065 parts per million. And he promised the EPA that the Middle Georgia Clean Air Commission would never go away, even after the region was in attainment. This promise holds true today. So he's still in that plugging away with trying to make it even cleaner. So that was a great award. He got up in Washington and we recognized him earlier today for having received that. Any other announcements?
Somebody ought to leak that to the press.
Ma'am?
Somebody ought to leak that to the press.
Somebody ought to leak that to the press.
Indeed. Somebody will, yes. It won't be a leak, well, just shout it out.
Okay, any other announcements? Y'all look like you're ready to go home. Gotta get a motion to adjourn.
Amen.
All right. Well, I think we're adjourned.